Hello, Bravs. One of the future books that I'm going to read on this channel that no one will listen to because most of the stuff I post is obscure and purposely so, because what's the point of posting something like Frankenstein or any various Mark Twain offerings when they're already readily available? This book, Shingle, Shavers, and Berry Pickers, which focuses on the thumb region of the state of Michigan. If you know where that is, Michigan's shaped like a hand, obviously. Lower Peninsula is. And that is where Gundella the Witch was from, who I harp upon on occasion on this channel, but in real life is a central figure in research that I do. And last year I bought this book at a local thrift store, and within the pages was this letter, though I don't know if it was sent or not. It could be one of those letters never sent kind of deals, because inside the book there's no record of ownership or anything. So I have no clue whose book it was, and thus I have no clue who authored this letter. The Forester Cemetery Seance Scam of June 1988. And obviously you probably won't know anything about Forester, Michigan, which is a small town up north of Detroit. And Gundella had a tour up there from the Detroit area, and there was a religious group, as happened quite frequently in her career during the 70s and 80s, as a local celebrity, where she would have parties and Halloween parties, usually for charity, and then tours, etc., etc. And during this specific tour, there was a demonstration by a religious group that didn't want her performing a seance at the grave of Minnie Quay, who was it Minnie Quay? Yeah, it was Minnie Quay. Yes. Who supposedly committed suicide and over a sailor whom she had met. She was underage, and the sailor had supposedly professed his love to her and said he'd come back to her, and she fell off the dock and drowned. That was the story, but Gundella's research, I believe, came to the conclusion that she died of pneumonia. But anyway, there's supposedly a ghost of Minnie Quay. I'll just read the letter because it's too complicated to get into. Dear Gundella, if you had verified, the Forester Cemetery Seance Scam of June 1988. Dear Gundella, if you had verified and checked your sources before you put up your good reputation, you would have found county records show Minnie Quay died in 1876 at age 16, a victim of an outbreak of influenza. The story about her ghost roaming the cemetery is the creation of William Egbert Clugston, owner of the Forester Inn and Campground. The haunted opera house was never an opera house and never haunted, another Clugston creation. When Mary Quay Shaw was bedridden and dying in the Quay house, she was constantly being annoyed by Clugston and his drunks from the Forester Inn across the street. The harassment grew worse and because she dared to file complaints with the police, Clugston vowed to dance on her grave. Being a chicken to do it alone, old Egbert hired Gundella to invade the Quay family gravesite. Assemblies at cemeteries by persons other than family members require written permission from the family of the gravesite itself and a permit from the county prosecutor, and the posting of a peace bond. Unless shorter hours are posted, cemeteries are closed to visitors from sundown to sunup. State statute imposes a minimum $50 fine per person per occurrence for trespassing. Egbert is selling passes to the seance to customers who will run up a minimum bar bill. Expect about 500 additional drunks at your seance and countless curiosity seekers who will storm the cemetery. Do you have the security? How will you keep them out? you don't even have a written contract with Clugston or anyone. See pages 1, 4, and 14 of the enclosed paper. Good luck. Unfortunately, I don't have the enclosed paper, 1, 4, and 14. It could be the newspaper article that was published, but I don't know. The area in question, the so-called thumb area of Michigan, is where Gundella was born, though I think she was born north of the thumb, along what would be about right, yeah, in the state, in the Tawas, Michigan. What is that, Lake Huron? I believe it's Lake Huron. And as Gundella has stated numerous times, numerous times during her lifetime that she was in a witch's coven in Ann Arbor, and her mother, I believe, was head of the Au Sable branch of the covens, the 3 covens that were in Michigan. There was one in Sandusky, which I believe is between Au Sable and Ann Arbor. Basically, Au Sable's up here, Sandusky, and then Ann Arbor, roughly speaking, in Michigan. And yeah, so that's that. As far as the covens go, I do have more information on the covens, and I probably should do a post on them. But this is about shingle shavers and berry pickers, which I have yet to read or even crack open. Just because, hey, look, there was a map back here. Let's see if it shows Sandusky. It does not. There's Forrester. Where? Oh, this is the thumb. See, there's Tawas up there. I think Sandusky's about right here, and then Ann Arbor would be over there. There are many mentions. Where did I read about the covens? I'll save that for another post, just because it's an interesting thing, and mostly I post stuff online in my blog on Gundella, which I've had for 13 or 14 years, mostly to provide the information for free so people don't buy books by shysters trying to make money off the supposed paranormal. Port Sanilac. Isn't that where Eberbrock Ward? Wonder if he's mentioned in there. I think it is. Which would tie Eberbrock Ward and his family, who were spiritualists, also in that vein. Yeah, there it is, Eberbrock Ward, the Ward line. He was from Newport, that's where he was from, Marine City. But I think he had ties to Port Sanilac. I believe that may be where he lived for years. I can't remember everything. But it all ties in together because those were 2 of the larger or more well-known spiritualists. Gundella is somewhat considered a spiritualist just because she's a witch, or was a witch. And Eberbrock Ward regularly held seances and had readings from his own personal medium who lived in his backyard. So it all ties in together to Detroit area, which I'm from, and still live in the area. So yeah, this is all interesting to me. It may not be to you. Probably isn't. And when Gundella was young, she also worked for a newspaper editor whose name slips me at present, but I will find that. And I do plan on doing a post on that woman as well, because in an online group for Taoists, there are talks of this woman as being a witch, which would be believable since she was a mentor to Gundella, who became obviously the most famous witch in Michigan. Lore. I don't know if there were other witches, but yeah. That's all. Goodbye, bruv. Goodbye for now.